Good evening and welcome to Nonsense Talk Live. A day of grief, a day of anger. Well, for those who are not aware of the news, over 44 CRPF Jawans have been killed by fidayeen attack in Pulwama, Jammu and Kashmir. Well, before going into the details or news or analysis, let me give you a quick recap of the updates. The terror attack has been condemned by all quarters. That's very natural. And it's also very natural the reaction from Prime Minister, who said this attack will be replied back. This is a pep talk now, actually. I mean, without insulting the chair of the Prime Minister, like some of our oppositions are doing, which I really condemn. Not a saffron supporter, I maintain, but certainly we cannot insult or demean the chair of the Prime Minister. Well, coming back to the updates, Home Minister Rajnath Singh and senior officials of the CRPF will be visiting the spot tomorrow on Friday. Before putting up the questions, let me ask one simple question to all of you. When surgical strike took place, and I myself did story because I was working with a news agency, a digital news agency in Noida, Uttar Pradesh. We did many stories, and a house which actually allowed us to do pro-story, anti-story, whatever we feel like. And for that, I'm grateful to the house and the editor-in-chief. My question today is, why then surgical strike was called a pest control? Why then surgical strike was projected as no more terror attack, no more terrorists exists? Well, one of the significant update at this hour is United States of America, France and Nepal has expressed their solidarity with India government. That's really a welcome move. Well, as I always say, I really have no words to express in such situation. We all know that these brave sons of soil, these brave soldiers, are always ready for this situation. But how long will this proxy war continue? Losing life in war can be understandable. But losing life like this, proxy war, fidayeen attack, how long? आखिर कब तक हमारे जवान, हमारे सैनिक इस तरह से शहादत देते रहेंगे और उनके शव ताबूतों में भर भर कर आते रहेंगे और हम सिर्फ भावभीनी श्रद्धांजलियां देते रहेंगे और साथ में ये कहते रहेंगे कि इसका जवाब, इसका मुंह तोड़ जवाब हम पाकिस्तान को एक दिन जरूर देंगे? कब तक सियासत इन शवों पर चलती रहेगी? आखिर कब तक? This is really a question, I think, which every Indian is asking today. It's high time the lip service should be stopped. It's high time government must take a stand and react to these attacks. It's high time India must retaliate. if India doesn't retaliate in a proper way, in the way our Jawans want, then that day is not very far when our young people, our coming generation, will be scared to join the forces. I know that will never happen, and that is the reason Indian Army is still surviving. Hats off to our Jawans, to our soldiers, for their services. We really have no words to express, no words of gratitude. But shouldn't our politicians realize that enough of politics, enough of lip service, enough of so-called talks? And at the same time, I would also like to mention some of our reputed news medias who hold cross-country literary meet, cross-country music feast, cross-country intellectual, rather pseudo-intellectual events. Don't they realize that there should be an end to this pseudo-diplomacy? Today's incident has once again raised a big question on should India just keep calm by passing such remarks that we will pay back in their same coins, or they will be replied back in their same coins, or should India react? Should India reply to these fringe elements who are scared to come in front, and they actually put forward their fidayeens who do this for few sum of money, and of course the pseudo-religious sentiments. But not going into details today, it's indeed an hour of grief, hour of national shame, because after the so-called success, the so-called beating own trumpet after surgical strike, one at least expected such attacks won't take place. Before summing up, I have only one question. Please feel free to give your reactions, your comments, whether you like, whether you dislike. Should army or our soldiers decide how to retaliate or respond to these attacks? This is not a pep talk. I am asking this because many of our ex-servicemen since afternoon on various television channels have expressed their anger, their anguish and their grievances against the government and governments, to be specific, because none of the government actually did anything to understand their sentiments. Finally, before summing up, today's incident will definitely create ripples in the diplomatic circles, in the defense circles, and various political corridors. Unfortunately, some of our opposition leaders who have actually no agenda at the moment, but trying to establish themselves as next political leaders, will create music, create uproar over this fidayeen attack. If they really are serious about country sovereignty, about India's dignity, then they should and must, first of all, condemn and then stand beside the bereaved families and also join hands together to fight terror. Because no politics, no diplomacy, nothing at this moment can match the need of sovereign political power. But unfortunately, I know that will never happen. They all will become prime minister, they all will become home minister, they all will become chief minister, they all will become defense minister, but they can never unite, even for the sake of the government. Today is also the day of martyrdom. On this day, Shahid Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev were hanged to death. My respects to these martyrs and today's martyrs who led their lives in Pulwama,